Some weird things have been happening recently in Helldivers 2, with vehicles and mechs suddenly appearing in the game with no warning, to players now coming face to face with a flying Terminid, along with the CEO of Arrowhead Game Studios denying their presence and labeling it as propaganda despite video evidence to prove otherwise. So, keep this history in mind, as it adds a lot of weight to the experiences that these players are claiming they recently had. Rumours have floated around for a while now that the third faction from the OG Helldivers, called the Illuminate, would be making a return to the game. The first hint we had was when this Reddit user managed to data mine the game's files, locating a list of unreleased stratagems that told us mechs were coming to the game weeks before they were even announced. But the most interesting part of the leak, that kind of flew under the radar thanks to the mechs, was the mention of the Illuminate faction hidden within the game's files. Considering recent events, players are now on edge anytime anything weird happens in the game, and this is the case for this player, who took to Reddit convinced that they had been attacked by the Illuminate faction. The Reddit post was simply titled "The Illuminate is already here," and goes on to explain that during a mission, they were absolutely hit by a shot that did not come from either the Terminids or automatons or even their teammates. With the player on edge, they were convinced that this had to be the Illuminate faction, and went on to reason why. They went on to say it must have been an Illuminate sniper, just like the first game. The sniper must have teleported out immediately after the shot. I wish I was screen recording at the time or had anything like that set up. Some aren't convinced though, with one player replying, "I think this Helldiver is suffering from hallucinations. Everyone knows that Illuminates aren't around anymore, will never return, and won't threaten our democracy forever." While another made an extremely valid suggestion considering recent events, suspecting that the player has been huffing too much termicide while carrying out his liberation duties. But it wasn't all skepticism in the comments, as one player actually backed up their fellow suspicious Helldiver, reporting that they saw a pulsing red dot on the map with no one in sight, and that they were expecting a cloaked enemy to attack them that never came, saying, "To my dismay, I saw nothing as the dot passed over me, changed direction to the north and sped away from me. Something's going on out there, Helldivers, be vigilant." But it's not just a new faction that Helldivers now have to worry about, as one element just added to the game is giving players nightmares. Planetary hazards were recently introduced into Helldivers 2, with Game Master Joel clearly feeling like we were living life a bit too comfortably and felt the need to mix things up. Most of the planetary hazards aren't too worrying, and to be honest, offer more of a nuisance than a serious risk to your efforts to save Super Earth. That is, other than these fiery tornadoes that are causing complete chaos among our fellow Helldivers. The Helldivers Alerts Twitter page posted this video, a first look at the fire tornadoes within Helldivers 2, and the footage, quite frankly, is terrifying. The footage shows a firestorm on Hellmire, and it literally looks like a scene out of a post-apocalyptic movie, with the fire tornadoes causing complete destruction to anything that crosses its path. And Helldivers aren't taking too kindly to the release of the footage, with one player putting it ever so eloquently simply by responding, "The f*** am I supposed to do when that happened?" Other players are choosing to look on the brighter side of life though, seeing the death by fiery tornadoes as an opportunity more than a risk, with one player saying, "Well, at least I'll get burned alive by something other than my own flamethrower." The only positive thing about these fire wind tunnels from hell is that not only do they cause serious damage to you and your teammates, but they also severely impact the enemy too, so if you can manage to stay out of harm's way and let the winds pass, it may actually become a useful tool to take advantage of in battle. And in tough times, we all need to stick together, which is exactly what this new global threat is causing, as players are demanding that all forces converge on Hellmire to assist their fellow Helldivers in need. Some feel that they need a bit more help from Super Earth though, as players are requesting fire-resistant armor to allow for safe journeys to Hellmire with this new risk. But Helldivers, if the democracy felt this was needed, would this not be standard issue? Are you daring to question the democracy? Considering how the devs have integrated new content into the game, while every rumor must be taken with a pinch of salt, Helldivers should always remain vigilant, as history shows that anything can, and most likely will, happen in this game. So, with fiery wind tunnels and potentially a new alien faction coming to the game shortly, are you going to be up to the task? Well, if you want to get ahead of the Illuminate to ensure your victory, education is key. So why not go check out this video, where we explain everything we know about the new faction coming to Helldivers 2.